Hi everyone, welcome back to GCK Languages. I am KJ Shibu from the Department of Languages, GCK. Today we will discuss a poem titled Freedom by Rabindranath Tagore. The famous Indian poet and freedom fighter Rabindranath Tagore was an inspiration to millions of people during India's freedom struggle and later. His poems deal with themes and messages relevant even today. He has a high reputation as the first non-European writer from Asia to win the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913 for his remarkable collection of poems, Gitanjali. India's national anthem Jana Gana Mana was written by Tagore. Being a freedom fighter, Tagore in 1915 rejected the knighthood. It was an honorary position conferred to him by the British government. He is also considered a great educationalist of innovative ideas in formal education. His greatest contribution as an educationalist was Vishyabharati University, which he had founded in West Bengal. Freedom is a patriotic poem by Rabindranath Tagore. Basically, the poem is a call for the freedom of his motherland, India, from the British colonial rule. At a higher perspective, the poem deals with a theme more universal. It can be interpreted as a call to the human mind to break away from the slavery of oppression of all kinds. Moral oppression, religious oppression, intellectual slavery, and so on. Now, let us read the poem into a mimicry of life. Since you have gone through the lines of the poem, let us now analyze the poem in detail. The first 5 lines. Freedom from fear is the freedom he claims for his motherland. India was suffering from the slavery of British colonial rule for ages. This burden of ages has bent her head, broken her back, and blinded her eyes. She is now so weak that she cannot even see the beckoning call of the future. Tagore, as a freedom fighter and as a leader of the freedom struggle, strongly desires for the complete freedom of India. He thinks that real freedom is the freedom from fear. The poet is sad that the people of India have lost their hope in a better future. The slavery that they experienced for a long time has bent their back. It has made them too much fearful and submissive to the Britishers. They lost their courage to question their rulers and fight back. Their back is broken due to the hard work they were forced to do for the Britishers. The future is calling them to a bright promise of independence. But these poor people have lost their vision and even the hope for such a better future. Next 3 lines tells you about the centuries-long slavery that the Indian people suffered. This slavery to the colonial rule has forced India to be passive and inactive. India has tied herself to the darkness and silence of the night. But even in the sky of such a dark night, there is a star that speaks of the truth and its adventurous paths. But India is not in a position to trust this guiding star. This guiding star can be a metaphor to the freedom struggle or even to the leader, the great Mahatma. People have lost their hope even in the freedom struggle due to their fear and feeling of insecurity. They are now in the shackles of slumber. That means in the chains of sleep. People under British rule have become more and more passive. They have grown more ignorant. They like to continue in such a darkness and silence. It is just to escape from their oppressed state of life. The poet strongly wishes to wake them up from their sleep. There is a guiding star in the night sky, and he asks them not to mistrust this star. It shows you the adventurous path of truth. Independence is the truth. The ways leading to this truth are surely adventurous. The next lines from line 9 to 11 tells you about another slavery and the miserable condition of India. Most Indians believe in destiny, but faith in destiny will lead us to anarchy. India is now like a ship surrendering to the uncertain winds that take it to nowhere. The captain who steers the ship is like a dead man. His hands are frozen and rigid. The ship has lost its control. He can no more steer the ship in the proper direction. The situation is very dangerous. The poet seems a little nervous about the passiveness that has grown in the minds of the people during British rule. Night is a metaphor for the dark age of colonialism. It was a time of stillness with no progress and no development. The poet tries to motivate people, making them aware of the possibilities of their bright future. Then the next remaining lines gives us the metaphor of a puppet's world. Living like a puppet, controlled by someone else, is really an insult. India has lost its destiny and it moves according to the wishes of another foreign country. The brainless wires refers to the strings used to control the puppets in the show. Every action by the people of India is thoughtless. Everything they do is only a mindless habit. They are not allowed to use their intellect or express their emotions. What an insult! What an insulting obedience! They are compelled to imitate what the master of the show wishes them to do. Therefore, India should free herself from such a humiliation. Let us now understand the different types of slavery that India is undergoing during the British colonial rule. India will be completely free only if they break themselves away from all these kinds of slavery. The first slavery is fear. It is a feeling of insecurity that will make you afraid of everything. The second one is a burden of ages. That means the slavery to colonial rule. It has made you too obedient. It has made the people of India too submissive to the Britishers. The third slavery is the shackles of slumber. It denotes the chains of a sleep, the state of passiveness of Indian people. It has made Indians mistrust the freedom struggle and the freedom leaders. The next slavery is the anarchy of destiny. There is a blind faith in fate for most of the Indians. This faith in fate has made them unable to fight back. And the last slavery is the insult of being a puppet. Slavery to the insult of being a puppet. Indians are leading a foolish life of obeying the Britishers. Life is only a mimicry of what the master commands, master of the show commands. Okay, now let us see the various poetic devices used by the poet in the poem. The first one is personification. And there are a lot of examples of personification there. One example is India is personified as a weak old lady or an old person who is unable to react. The sound effect used is alliteration. The example is freedom from fear, where the sound is repeated. The sound b is repeated in breaking the back. There are a lot of metaphors used, and one example is night as a metaphor for the dark age of British colonial rule. And sail is a metaphor for India, which has lost its control and its identity. A puppet's world is also another metaphor to denote the foolish life of obeying the Britishers. I think you have understood the poem very well. Thank you very much. We'll meet with another video later.